Hello everyone. Welcome to this video on integrating the report viewer control into an ASP.NET Core application to display a sales order detail report. If you want to improve your ASP.NET Core application by adding strong reporting features, Bold Reports Report Viewer is an excellent choice. Bold Reports provides powerful tools that can be easily added to web applications. With these tools, users can create interactive and informative reports. In particular, you might want to add the Report Viewer control from Bold Reports. The Report Viewer lets users view and interact with reports directly within their web applications. It offers an easy-to-use interface for displaying reports and includes various interactive features to improve the reporting experience. I have already installed the .NET SDK on my machine to create an ASP.NET Core application with Visual Studio Code. Let's start by creating an ASP.NET Core application by running this command prompt and naming the project Core Report Viewer. Once the application is created, I need to install the NuGet packages to add the necessary dependencies. So, I change the current working directory to the application's root folder and add the boldreports.net.core package to the application. This NuGet package contains all the dependency packages to add the Bold Reports Report Viewer to the application. Then, I add the boldreports.aspnet.core package, which allows users to create, view, and export various report types. It also contains the tag helpers to create client-side reporting control. Next, I create a resources folder in the www root folder of my application to store the RDL reports. For this video, I will use the sales order details.rdl file already available to me, which I add to the resources folder. You will find the download link for the sales order details.rdl file in this video's description. After adding the sample report to the application, let me initialize the report viewer in the project. First, I open the viewImport.cshtml file in the Views folder and define the tag helpers to initialize it. BoldReports.tagHelpers allow you to effortlessly integrate server-side with our HTML elements. The add tag helper, boldreports.aspnet.core help utilize the Bold Reports functionalities in the application. Next, I need to reference the report viewer scripts and the style sheet to integrate the report viewer into the project. So, I use CDN links. You can also use local scripts and themes. I open the layout.cshtml file in the views/shared folder and add code to the head tag. Next, I create a div element with a body section to contain the rendered report on the client side, removing the existing code, and assign styles. Then, I invoke the render body method. Next, I add the render section method and bold script manager tag to the body section of the HTML file. The render section method is used to define a section in Razor View where you can inject additional scripts. Bold Script Manager is a custom HTML tag provided by Bold Reports to manage the loading of the report viewer control. Now, I will configure the Web API. The ASP.NET Core application requires a Web API service to render the report viewer control. So, I create a new controller file named reportviewercontroller.cs within the controllers folder. In that file, I need to add all the necessary using statements as references and declaring namespaces and adding classes. I add the Microsoft.ASP.NET Core.MVC namespace to the controller file, which lets me build the web application, including web APIs, and provides routing and model binding. And I add the boldreports.web.reportViewer namespace, which provides the class and interfaces specific to the Bold Reports library and is used to configure and manage the report viewer. Next, I add the Microsoft.ASP.NET Core.Hosting namespace, which provides types for configuring and running web applications. I also add the Microsoft.Extensions.Caching.Memory namespace, which provides in-memory caching capabilities to store and retrieve data quickly. Finally, I add the system.io namespace, which works with input-output operations such as reading from and writing to data streams and files. Then, I add the core report viewer.controllers namespace to avoid naming conflicts. Inside that, I add the root attribute for the report viewer controller. Next, I inherit the controller and implement the iReport controller interface in the report viewer controller class to handle the viewing of reports. The iReport controller interface declares the action methods required in the Web API controller to process reports and handle resource requests. To read the report file from the application, I use the iWeb hosting environment with dependency injection. Next, I add the post-report action method to process the report request from the server side based on a JSON parameter and send the response back to the client side using the HTTP post action. Then, I add the onInit report options method, which is invoked from a report helper when the report is about to be processed during preview. Inside this method, I need to load the report as a stream. So, I create a base path variable to combine the web root path of the application and resources folder. Then, I create a report path variable to combine the base path and report name using reportOption.reportModel.reportPath to access the available report. Next, I create a file stream instance to open the sales order details.rdl report file in the resources folder within the www root directory using the report path variable. Then, I create a memory stream to store the report data and copy the file stream to it. This copy process prevents file access problems in the server while running the application. Finally, I assign the memory stream values to the report option.reportModel.stream variable. Next, I add the onReportLoaded method, which will be invoked from a report helper when the report and subreport start loading for report rendering. I then add the getResource method to get images to be used in the report from the server when I preview the report in the designer. The action name, getResource, and accept verbs, get, attributes specify the endpoint and HTTP verb for retrieving resources. Finally, I add the post form report action to save the exported report to the client side using the HTTP post action. Now, I need to invoke the Web API in the controller from the client side to view the report. So, I open the index.cshtml file and create the bold report viewer tag to it. This custom HTML element provided by the bold reports library is used to embed the viewer in a web page. Inside the tag, I need to add the ID attributes, report path, and report service URL API properties. The ID attribute specifies the unique name for the HTML element, so I assign viewer to it. The report service URL specifies the URL of the report service that processes and renders the report. And the report path specifies the path to the report that you want to render. Finally, I need to register the license token to remove the license validation message. In this demo, I am going to use the online license token. License tokens can be generated in the Claim License Key section of the Bold Reports Accounts page. So, I open the program.cs file and enter the code snippet to register the token. I have provided a link to documentation on registering a license using online license tokens and offline license keys in this video's description. Now, everything is ready to preview the report. I run this command in the command prompt and then build the application. Then, I copy the URL and run it in a browser. C. The sales order details report is rendered in an ASP.NET Core application. In this video, I have shown you how to integrate the report viewer control in an ASP.NET Core application. If you found this video useful, don't forget to click the like button and subscribe to our channel to watch more videos like it. Thanks for watching.